Hello and welcome in, all Neptune pirates, PCHers, O9ers, rap moguls, toxic sons of toxic masculinity, actors, widowers.
Thespians, please.
Oh, thespians, apologies. And paparazzi to Life on Mars, the Veronica Mars Rewatch podcast, where we recap every episode by episode. I'm your host, Brenton.
And I'm Emily.
And we're here to talk about episode 13, Lord of the Bling.
Didn't realize it was episode 13.
Mm-hmm.
And this Friday is Friday the 13th.
Ooh. As in tomorrow.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. And that's when we're going to go get my business license.
Mm-hmm.
Big
Ooh,
stuff.
Yeah. Lots of things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Big movements on 113.
Big moves.
That would be Life Path 4. Because you add them together, right?
Good job.
Thank you.
But you add the day, the month too. So it'd be 3 plus 1 plus 4 plus 2 plus 2 because it's 2020.
Okay. And that was 3 plus 4.
7.
Okay. Plus 2 plus 2. That's going to be 11. 11.
Good job. And you don't subtract 11 because...
Okay, wait a minute.
It's no, like 11's good. You stay at 11.
I know. Give me 1 minute. Minus 0 equals... Okay, we're good. 11.
Because 11 is like a... I don't want to say a magic number. That's all I can think of is School of Rock, and that's a magic number. But 11, 22, they're divine numbers, so you don't make them smaller, even though they're double digit.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So is 22 the highest?
33, 44. I don't.
Any multiples like that?
I don't know if it keeps going past like 44, 55.
Mm-hmm.
I know 3 is a big one.
Any like two numbers? Back
11
like
times
that?
something. Yeah.
Gotcha. What do you think of episode 1-3?
I called it the missing people episode. Or missing people that aren't missing.
Uh-huh.
No one's actually missing.
Mm-mm. No, I wrote it at the very end. I'm like, oh, this is Big Lebowski. It's like, oh, she's just on vacation, not really getting married.
I mean, it's funny because I think at the time it was supposed to appear as progressive for the way Veronica and her dad interact with quote unquote urban culture. But I'm like, oh, God.
A lot of it's real dated.
Yeah, the early 2000s are not okay.
Mm-mm. And it's like, oh, he has to be a gangster, but a reformed gangster who like pretends to be like gangster.
Like you pretended that drive-by was you and it wasn't because it gave you street cred. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I know.
Who let him move into this neighborhood?
And it's like, oh, and like black people can be nerdy and smart too. It's
right.
like Jesus Christ. Although,
much like High School Musical, where we learned that.
Exactly.
Which is nice because it's got a nice tie-in. Because Yolanda's friend, Gabrielle,
not the same Gabrielle from High School Musical,
is Taylor in High School Musical.
Oh,
she's played by Monique Coleman, who apparently has been playing a high schooler for a good 20, 40 years.
So this was 4 years before High School Musical? Does that sound about right? Was 2000? No.
High School Musical was like 2007, 2008.
Oh, okay. So this was 2004.
Oh.
So, 2005. Sorry, February 8th is when this aired.
Gotcha. So not that far apart.
Right.
I thought they were further.
And then we also get Anthony Anderson as what's his name? Bones Hamilton.
Bone Hamilton.
Of
Drive-By Records.
Right. Then do you know who Suge Knight is?
No.
So that's who he's modeled after. He was the label owner for Death Row Records, which is like...
What happened to like happy things like Jive or Hand... there's Jive Records. That's who did NSYNC.
Yeah. So this is like NWA era, right? It wasn't NWA. They didn't put any NWA records, but this is a records where it's like we are like putting out rap albums by black people, so it's called Death Row. Like, you know, it's like a political statement in and of itself, but he actually is like, he didn't fake any of the things that they had Bones Hamilton do. Like right now he's in prison. He had been linked back to tons of rumors of like a lot of people think that he played a role in killing Biggie.
Jesus.
But yeah, he's in jail right now because he killed a person and hurt another person in a hit and run. And supposedly they got, because do you remember the movie Straight Outta Compton? Because he's part of that story, so he's on the set, even though he's been playing. So he's supposedly gotten an argument with those. I had to double check the facts before we get. This is why it's so fresh in my mind. He got in an argument with the two people, and he then followed them after like shooting on set and like hit one of them with his car, like hit them both but killed one.
Jesus.
Yeah. So he's Suge Knight's scary in real life. Bones Hamilton not so much.
Yeah.
And what was hilarious is after we had just finished Cheer and we were talking about toxic masculinity, and then literally the first scene is him being like, oh, and I've got Ernest for a son, or not Ernest, Urkel for a son. Ernest for a son. Very different.
Yeah, do you want to give your quick 5-second recap of Cheer?
Oh god, yeah, we should probably talk about Cheer.
If you guys haven't seen Cheer, it's a show on Netflix about the Navarro cheer team, which is a junior college NCAA cheer team that's really fucking good.
It's just amazing.
And it's a junior college, so these kids come from all over because they love cheer, but maybe didn't get into their dream schools or weren't technically like the studious type. I mean, everyone's got a different story, but...
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so many stories are just heartbreaking, but a lot of them have like scholarships to go there, which is great. Just these kids' stories are just so tragic. But like, yeah, it is heartwarming in the best way of just like, this is a real life story, like capturing like literally just a year in their lives and like how important this is to them and kind of like the structure and how they benefit from that structure. And gives you appreciation for cheerleading.
Yeah.
When they're mic'd up and you hear all the impacts, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. It is not an easy sport.
Yeah, I never thought, obviously I'm not like type person like, that's easy. It's like, yeah, that's hard. But like hearing like the impact of like every like landing, and now I know baskets, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Oh yeah.
Did you have a favorite?
Oh, Jerry.
You love Jerry.
I love Jerry because he's just this. I love all my children.
The best thing about dating a cancer man is that he would like to mother all of these children as well.
Yeah, I forgot to post it last night, but I thought about during the watching the show. It's like, oh God, I don't think I've cried as like more than I have during this show, and I cry a lot during TV.
We are criers.
Oh God, and it's just like
we'd cried talking about it.
Yeah, totally. Because some of it's just like, oh God, just seeing like during the last routine, because Jerry got to be on the mat, and then there's like the entire gym of like all the like little like girls that like look up to him. They're just like cheering so hard like when they win. I'm getting teary thinking about it.
Yeah, I think when Brenton saw Jerry on the mat at the competition, that was the moment that Brenton lost it. He was like, is he going to be on the mat? Is he going to make mat?
Right. Because he's just like, he radiates just this positive energy, but he's got like this like self-confidence issue like in there just around like his ability with cheerleading. Because
it's not himself, it's his skill that he is not confident about.
Right, exactly. Because he does have confidence in himself, and he like watching him interact with Ladarius to like get him to apologize was amazing, because it's like, oh, he is a strong individual, but like you could see with his cheerleading, like because he's lost so much weight just in the past year and he's just known for stunning. He's not like he hasn't trained with like tumbling or anything like that, so he like already feels like a little weird because they want people that can do both. So like when he gets that chance, it's like, oh my God, that's amazing.
And then when he got the scholarship based on his grades, not even based on cheering. Oh,
yeah, I know.
My heart.
And that's not even to mention any of the other kids that are just amazing.
Yeah, I really love Morgan.
Mm-hmm. God, yeah, my heart goes out to her.
Yeah, that girl. And she's just like, okay, put me in.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. She's such a trooper.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it's so cool to see her like have that like family figure with everybody, but then have that mother figure with Monica, who like really nurtures that.
Well, and it was very cute to watch. There was one scene with her and Jerry where it was.
Yeah, that's the best. She's doing Matt talk for him.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Also, what a great! I love that term.
Matt talk.
Matt talk.
Are you gonna be Matt talking me?
Oh yeah. Woo!
Get it.
I'm gonna be at work.
But yeah, so if you haven't watched Cheer, complete tangent, but really good.
Definitely highly recommended.
Okay, anyway, back to Veronica Mars.
Yeah, well, we had, you know what? That was a perfect little segue, because now we can start talking about the episode. We haven't really talked about the opening. It's now time to dive in.
I got my snorkel.
Yep.
You shouldn't dive in a snorkel.
And I have the bends. Came up too fast.
I've never been scuba diving. Have you?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, yeah, because your dad threw up.
Yeah.
So gross.
I will explain it briefly. My dad gets very seasick, but is certified scuba diving. So
Why?
like, I don't know. I don't think it affects him as much as like just being on a boat. And the waves.
How does he get out there to scuba dive?
Fair point. He jumps from the helicopter. He's like a Navy SEAL. But he had eaten licorice that day, and so like, and the waves were really choppy. So even under the water, he's like getting sick. So he gets sick in his mask, and there's like red. So when he comes up, they're all like concerned that he's like bleeding from his face. Hilarious. Speaking of fathers,
Bone Hamilton? Or?
Yeah, we open on Bones Hamilton. Singular. Of sitting by the pool, being fully floating that he's an absentee father because he doesn't know anything of what his family's up to. Because his wife's like, oh, he's like, what's this and what's this and what's this? It's like, yeah, your daughter went horseback riding. He's like, I didn't. Blah, blah,
also,
blah.
why did she need his signature on the form to get their son out of PE?
Right. Why not? Why shouldn't she just sign it?
Yeah, she's the mother. Like, you don't need two parents to sign your permission slips.
Also, I wrote down, I'm like, P's useless anyway. And you know what's much better? Having independent study to get revenge on your father.
Well, and
that's what it is.
Yep. And like, he's like, oh, I like doing my science nerdy stuff, so I don't need to go run.
Mm-mm.
Amen.
Yeah. Way to go. I forget his name. I lost it. Well, anyway.
I never wrote it down.
Yeah. Bryce.
Oh.
I didn't write it down, but
Never guessed that.
No.
Okay.
Right. And then that's when he comes in and Bryce comes into the pool and it's like, oh, speaking of Urkel. And it's like, okay, great. Thanks. He's like, yeah, well, my sister's missing, so sucks to your Asmar.
I held in my did I do that?
Why don't you give it a shot?
No, thank you.
I'll get out of the way.
My leggings are all the way up to my bra, though, just because they're too big. So, I mean, I'm doing what I can.
She did do that. Cut to Veronica trying to touch Wallace's hair.
Was it his facial hair or his hair?
His hair.
Oh, because he had twisties.
Yep.
That's what my friend Greg always called them when he got his done. He had his twisties because they weren't braids; they were twisted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where Wallace is braided or twisted.
I think they're we don't know. I don't know. I should say, but I know it's probably it's like trying to be a playful joke, like haha, don't touch her hair, but at the same time, it's like don't touch her hair.
Yeah. It's not okay.
No.
I mean, I touch your hair, but it's because I have consent.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not a race thing.
No.
It's a pure envy thing.
Right. As Wallace would say, she's losing her cred with the urban demographic.
I did like that.
Mm-hmm. And then enter Bones Hamilton, plural, Esquire, to meet with Keith to find Yolanda. And with a handwritten note of his enemies.
Yes, I did love that.
And that's just the West Coast.
No,
Cool,
SoCal.
man. Oh, SoCal. I wrote it down wrong.
Because but he did say New York, so I understand why you would think that.
Right. There's West Coast. Enemies coast to coast, apparently.
I didn't even write it down. I just remember it being SoCal.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it. And then Veronica has a flashback to Yolanda starting school and Logan making comments that he doesn't care about race, he just cares about boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, cool. Glad we're getting all this pathos about Logan.
Yeah.
Fun.
I mean...
And also virginal Veronica, so it's lots of pinks.
Lots of long hair.
Mm-hmm.
Only virgins have long hair.
Yes, exactly. Is that what happens after you lose your virginity? Your hair just starts falling out?
My hair was falling out long before that.
Gotcha.
Just thin.
That's why I'm so luscious, because I say mine for marriage.
Oh, did you? Interesting. I didn't know it grows back.
Oh, I took a sip of water at the wrong time. She's like, yes, I used to be friends with Yolanda.
Yeah, and then we go into the theme song.
Dun. Yeah, oh yeah.
Time ago, we used to be friends. Every time you count us in before this podcast, I get the urge to start singing that.
Do you get the boom along?
Like I hear the note in my head as you're saying 3, 2, 1, and then I'm like,
mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I don't come in. Like this isn't my cue.
Oh boy. Yeah, which I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, I guess.
Yeah, it was cute. You know?
Yeah.
And then let's see here. Then is next scene. We get the flashback about Veronica taking Yolanda to her class.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then is it Logan at home with his dad?
Yes.
And he's like, "Hey, Dad, I got you a custom suit. If it's not sad enough, I'll get you a veil."
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I wrote that one down because it made me laugh.
Yeah, and it's just jarring of I think especially since I know the next few episodes of the arc that happens, it's just like, why are we giving Aaron this second chance when we've seen he's such an awful dude already? So it's it's hard for even me to buy in now of oh, we should feel bad for him because his wife went to go kill herself because of him.
Yeah. And the he's constantly gaslighting Logan.
Yeah, 100%. And then he's like, remember that nice time when we went to the zoo?
We lied to Mom and said we were going to dress up as our favorite animals.
What kind of trick is that?
Also,
why would I would want to dress like an animal?
Yeah, I was going to say imagine being a little boy and you're like, okay, I'm going to dress. We're going to tell Mom this, but we're not going to do it. No, you'd be like, okay, I'm going to go get my monkey outfit. I'll be right back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's
what animal would you have been?
Probably I'm thinking of costumes they usually have, like a tiger or something.
Mm-hmm. You wouldn't have tried to be a penguin?
I mean, I would have liked to, but I feel like the onesies or costumes that they have would be... There's not a penguin costume.
You don't think there's penguin costumes out there?
Probably is.
I know what to get you for your birthday now.
Tuxedo.
Buy Brenton penguin onesie.
It probably is. But I was like, yeah, what a weird thing to say. Why would you trick your mom into and no one else wear costumes at the zoo?
Yeah. Also,
ha ha ha.
It's that she picked a mermaid. I was like, okay, we get it. But also, how'd she walk around the zoo?
Right.
What did that costume look like?
Carried her.
Yeah. So you know the show's written by a man. She did a mermaid.
Right.
Because they only wear bras or, whatever the hell it is. And
yeah, it was weird. Mom was pantsless. We almost got kicked out. And then Logan follows it up. He's like, yeah, I remember you knocked on... I spilled a milkshake in the car and you gave me a bloody nose.
I wrote down, Dad is so much drama.
He is. Thespian.
Mm-hmm.
Couture.
And then they go outside and the paparazzi
Mm-hmm.
is trespassing.
Yeah, 100%.
He's on the other side of their gate. And so Logan chases him down and then smashes his camera. And the paparazzi gets mad.
Uh-huh. Well, they're on their side. Of course. Like,
No, but the one paparazzi,
one guy?
like the one guy. I'm like, you were fucking trespassing. Like, do you want
Right.
to go to jail, motherfucker?
but I mean, you know, he's doing his job. He's not even. He's thinking he's in the right. He's like, I have a right to do this.
No, he doesn't. Paparazzis
Right.
don't have rights.
It's our platform. But that's what I'm saying. He thinks. So that's why he'd get mad.
Have we learned nothing from Princess Diana?
No.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's a sad truth.
Poor thing.
Then we get Keith on the case visiting Bob Bloom. No, Bob Bloom. Yeah.
Bob's Law Blog.
Yes, exactly. Bob blah blah. And learn that he was shot in a drive-by and is crippled.
And he was Bones' lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And he stopped working with him because Bones was participating in tax evasion.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, I can't be a party to this.
Mm-hmm. Because he's like, I could either lose my practice or I can lose like him as a client. So
Right.
like,
Adios, Bones.
um,
And oh crap, I just lost it. Oh, then the next one is where we meet Taylor. Right? Gabrielle, sorry. Taylor in High School Musical.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. Like, who knows what happened? But we go to this like really grossly named club in LA called Blenders.
It makes me think of the smoothie place in Santa Barbara.
Me too.
Blenders in the Grass.
Yeah.
Isn't that the full name?
Uh-huh. Great name.
There
But-
was one downtown and I used to go all the time at lunchtime, or like if I had to go to the post office.
They're very delicious.
They were so good.
But ever since we switched to stamps.com, we never go to the post office again.
No, honey. I just don't work in downtown Santa Barbara anymore.
That's true. It's just a gross name for a club.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to hit Blenders?
Yeah, it was
No.
only okay because that was a smoothie shop.
And that she was seeing one of the bouncers there.
Yeah, who used to work for Bones Security or something like that?
Yes, and then got fired because he was getting too close to Yolanda.
Mm-hmm.
Which, fair enough.
So
She's in high school.
So then Veronica and Keith go there, right?
Right.
Is that what's next?
Uh-huh. Because, oh yeah, I forgot this is an entire episode where Keith has back issues. This is the second episode where it's like random mysterious ailments that Keith has.
Yeah, because of his other things that he does. Like goes and
Mhm.
catches bad guys.
Right. So instead of having a beat up face, he's got a bad back. And so Veronica's like, I have to drive you because on your pills, you can't drive heavy machinery and a car's heavy.
And I always think of forklifts.
Exactly.
Tractor. Well, you think of tractors.
I think of tractors, yeah. Chime in. Tractors or forklifts?
When you think of heavy machinery, what's your go-to item?
Uh-huh.
Let us know. Send us an email. Mars Investigations.
No.
Right? Life on Mars. Mars Rewatch.
At gmail.com.
Mars Rewatch at gmail.com.
Subject line, tractors versus forklifts.
Or, I mean, no, don't narrow them down. Just like
Oh,
heavy machinery.
heavy machinery. We'll know.
You don't tell them what to be. What if they think of something else? Like cranes.
That's true.
I remember how excited you were about the bulldozer.
Very excited.
When we lived in San Francisco, Brenton got very excited when we passed a construction site on our way to Muni, the public transportation station, and stopped to watch, like how you imagine small children when they see their first dump truck.
It was cool.
You city kids, you weird.
Yeah, but it was really crazy to see a giant crane lifting a porta potty over the work site.
This is something I never want to witness.
It was pretty scary.
What?
It was like when Chris Angel like crossed the buildings in Vegas, but it was a porta potty.
No, thank you.
Hope he's doing well.
Chris Angel, the machine operator.
Both. Heavy machinery operators of all shapes and sizes. The machines, not the people.
Oh, I just had deja vu. That was weird. And that's such a weird thing to have deja vu about.
So they go to the club.
Uh-huh.
Oh God, I lost my train of thought.
They want to make love in this club.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Keith.
That's a family.
I thought you might, like, you were talking about Gabrielle and Yolanda, like, going to the club. Like,
No.
I realized now.
Our investigative duo.
They
Says
go
an
to the
old
club
boy.
and Keith asks the guy who's the bouncer who used to work for Bones about Yolanda, and he's like, no, but she and her friend used to come here. And while he's doing that, Veronica, who was told to stay in the car but doesn't fucking listen, sneaks out to steal the valet tickets so that they can see who was there, because even criminals have to park.
Exactly. That's what I always say.
A direct quote.
And then she goes through it with Wallace, and Wallace is like, I thought the PI business was
I wrote this down.
was all about drinking scotch and like
Shooting dudes and sexy widows.
yeah, there you go.
And she was like, the sexy widows come later.
Very good. And they don't they find one of them is no, they don't have to go through there, because then Bones comes back and he's like, we gotta. Oh no.
No.
I'm jumping ahead.
They
You're
find
right.
they find the guy, the lawyer, what was his name?
Bob Bloom.
Bob's son.
Mm-hmm.
Something else. What was his name?
Benjamin.
Oh, I wrote it down. Ben.
Yeah. Was there.
Ben had been there.
Yeah. Seed for future. Dun dun dun.
And Ben and Yolanda, I think, are around the same age. And
Mm-hmm.
you could say they're the Romeo and Juliet of this not quite gangster world, because it's like a Jewish lawyer and a rapper and a lot of weird things, or a producer. There's a lot of weird energy around that too.
Mm-hmm.
We missed that when we talked about Bloom in his office, and he was like, I was his Jewish lawyer. Like, he yelled it like a couple times.
Right.
It's like, okay.
We get it.
Does he have a non-Jewish lawyer?
Right.
Like, is this a thing?
Also, I feel like that's a Hollywood stereotype, but I
Right?
digress.
I was like, this feels it's problematic.
yeah, across the board.
This whole
Especially when Keith
situation.
is like, take the high road at the end, like his like high road speech. It's like, okay, all right.
Yeah. And I mean, the man's a paraplegic.
Right.
Whatever.
But and then they go and follow up on Dimebag as lead.
Oh, yes. Dimebag.
Great on the nose name for a rapper.
That's what all my friends call me, Dimebag.
Right. And also Veronica being slightly problematic and racist by saying that the Eagles couldn't have a posse. Direct quote, the Eagles had dudes.
Yeah, because he said Dimebag and his dudes, and she said the Eagles have dudes.
Dimebag is...
Yeah.
Yeah, Dimebag is a posse. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Does she not remember...
But you hate the fucking Eagles, man?
Also a good quote, but the classic from Good Burger. He's a dude. She's a dude. We're all dudes.
Uh-huh. Welcome to the Good Burger home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? I thought that was the funniest thing as a kid.
Oh, I loved it.
My top 3 comedy rankings are, can you guess?
Jungle Cruise, Backside of Water, number 1 with
Backside
a
of
bullet.
Water is my favorite fucking joke in the world. Every time I go to Disneyland, I have to go on the Jungle Cruise, and you can ask Brenton. I laugh until I cry.
Number 2. Oh no, you said it the other day.
Uh-huh.
Go get it.
It's from Full House.
Cut it out.
Complete with the hand signs. And then now you know the third. Good Burger.
Over the Good Burger, may I take your order?
My mother and I stayed in a hotel while my father and my brother went camping with my dad's side of the family once. in Morro Bay.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and I were not sleeping outside. I believe I was around 6. Like, this was not, I made a decision very young. And so what we did, because they took the car, but we had like a nice little hotel right by the water and stuff. So we did our nails in the hotel room and we watched Good Burger. And then we went and got cinnamon rolls.
I like it. That's a great trip.
And then we went and they had one of those outdoor checkerboard things.
Mm-hmm.
And so we watched people play checkers.
That's pretty great.
We didn't do it because they looked heavy.
Man, some of those people are crazy good.
But like the big ones, like the ones in the ground.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so this isn't like just people saddling up. This is like the giant ones that you move around.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still fun.
Still fun.
Maybe you still get chess masters doing that just to like change it up, you know?
But this was checkers.
I'm not listening, apparently.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
it might have been chess. I feel like it was checkers. I said checkers.
Yeah, I apparently want to hear chess. Did you say chess?
Yes, I did.
Apologies for not comprehending what you're saying. And
So they go follow Dimebag to
yes.
the Neptune Grand.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do they get is there a flashback before this or no?
I think it's after this.
Okay.
The Yolanda Logan kiss thing.
Yeah.
But so Veronica is told to stay in the car and gives her dad his little mic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes to go put it in the room, and then she waits in the lobby. And she finds out that Dimebag needs his room switched because he wants the biggest room in the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if I was that front receptionist, I would just lie.
Yeah, totally.
You've
it's like
got
this...
the biggest room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have bigger rooms.
Yeah. Oh my god. And like, who knew if it would be open?
Yeah, it's inconsiderate. It's
Yeah.
showing Dimebag to be inconsiderate.
Exactly.
So then Veronica
And his dudes.
hears them and pretends to be their hostess to take them up to their room. Melinda. And so she can plant the other bug because her dad's in the wrong room.
Also, don't you think the person... Well, I guess the front desk is just happy to be rid of him.
She's like, whatever, crazy.
Yeah,
people.
I don't know who this person is, but like, get him out of here.
Exactly. And then my immediate reaction when Veronica takes them into this room is, why are the phones like this?
Oh, yeah, those weird, like, skinny phones.
They're like long and skinny.
I feel like that used to be like a chic thing. It's like, ooh, look at these cool phones of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And they look awful.
Yeah, it's very strange. I was like, does that have good sound quality?
Probably not.
That was my note, is what are the phones at the Neptune Grand?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they like that? And then Veronica goes back down and Dad's like, hey, it's weird. The plant that I used didn't work. And so she switches it over to the one she did. And then he gets mad, but he doesn't get mad.
Yeah, he's like, oh, use.
Stop doing this.
Yeah, why use?
And then they overhear on the bug that the guy said she was kind of scrawny.
Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm not scrawny.
And she's like, I'm not scrawny. And I was like, bitch, me too.
Mm-hmm. The feels.
Mm-hmm. I felt that. I was like, I get being small.
Right. Oh, and I realized that the software they're using was called Sonic Scoop.
Mm-hmm.
Great name.
Love it.
That's my
on this show.
Sonic the Hedgehog ice cream flavor.
Sonic Scoop.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What are the flavor notes in that?
Blueberry, probably.
Blueberry.
Because it's blue. No, it's actually just the Gatorade Cool Blue, but frozen.
That'd be a good icy.
Mm-hmm. And then you have...
Can you get me an icy machine?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Then Tails could be like an orange flavor.
Ew.
You know, so there was when was it? Say 2007, 2008. When it was before, maybe it was right around Iron Man 2 coming out. So maybe it was after that. I can't remember.
You know,
when
I
was.
remember that.
So we went to Comic-Con in San Diego, and on the way, once you get off the coaster, there's a 7-Eleven right there. So we freaking did the 7-Eleven a lot over those 4 days. And they had this Iron Man like orange flavor, and it's the best Slurpee I've ever had. And it's gone forever.
Do you think they'll ever bring Iron Man Orange back?
Probably not, since Robert Downey Jr. retired and is now making Dr. Dolittle made.
I kind of want to see it.
I heard it was awful. Awful.
I mean, like Greatest Showman awful?
I don't know. I don't know if it would be entertaining awful or just like boring awful. But I do know the ending sounds interesting.
I just saw a video of Hugh Jackman tap dancing the other day, and I was like, oh,
My heart.
what a man.
Yeah. And then do we get is this when we get the flashback of the kiss?
Yes.
Which was set up.
Our dog is very anti-kissy noises. He does not like kisses. He will interfere if you try to kiss in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He is quite angry about it, and he just death looked his father.
Yeah, I pissed him off. So they're like hanging out, and but before this setup is
So Veronica and Lily befriend Yolanda.
Yes.
After Veronica showed her around, this is all the flashback, and they're hanging out at Yolanda's house, and you find out that her brother's a civil engineer, and he's a nerd, and he's like spying on her and just like doing his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Veronica's nice to him because that's who she is. And then they're talking, and Lily's like, oh, I'm not going to Logan's big party this weekend because he's being the jealous type, and I don't like that. She's like, so my next boyfriend will be like blah, blah, blah. And so Lily and Yolanda are still going to go to the party. Veronica and Yolanda are still going to go to the party. And then we get an additional flashback of the party. And it is Logan, Yolanda, Veronica and Dunky. And Logan's like, Lily's not actually sick, blah, blah, blah. And they're like playing coy about it, including Duncan. Which is, that whole thing is weird.
Right. It's a weird situation.
Are they
for
twins?
Everybody. I think so.
Okay. I never know.
Yeah,
or is he her
remember.
baby brother?
Right. They all seem to be part of the same grade.
Mm-hmm.
So I would assume twins.
Yeah. And then Duncan's like, we better take you home because remember that prom flashback we had a couple episodes ago, and you got in big trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this scene that part's connecting to another flashback. This entire flashback is connecting back to what Logan said last week of like, oh, Veronica ratted on me.
Yeah, it's like they have to tie that whole backstory together for us.
It's like the prequels.
Exactly, but they just flashed them in at random.
Mm-hmm. That's why Logan's Darth Vader now.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Well, that explains the
He let hatred control him.
It's punching holes in walls.
Exactly. Very much that energy.
But then Veronica forgets her purse, so she goes back. And then Yolanda and Logan are making out. And
tonsil hockey.
What annoys me is that later we hear Yolanda say like, oh, he kissed me. But like, if that's true, then they filmed this poorly.
Yeah.
Because it sets her up as an unreliable narrator.
True. Yeah.
Because she is 100% giving back what she is getting in that scene.
Right. I think even in that scene where she's like trying to apologize, because she even goes, I don't want to mess up at a new school or something. So I think she's kind of pleading of like she says like one thing, right? Because he did. I'm assuming he made the first move, but like I'm assuming she's also like, crap, I messed up. Please don't like freeze me out.
Yeah.
But she gets uninvited to Feet Week.
And then Veronica's like, well, you shouldn't have kissed Lily's boyfriend.
Yeah.
She was mean, but she wasn't because like she made out with her best friend's boyfriend.
Yeah, that makes sense. High school logic for sure.
Even just like girl code logic.
True. She didn't like back off and be like, ah.
But yeah, so that, it was upsetting, but we got through it.
Right. Then do we get a visit to Bryce in his independent study? And he's like, I'm studying civil engineering. I'm like, man, after my dad's heart.
Does he like licorice and boats?
Yeah. And discusses how much his dad sucks. And it's like, yeah, my dad's has been like in and out of jail for like 2/3 of my life, and I'm the disappointment. It's like, yeah, I feel that, man.
You feel that?
I'm empathetic towards the
Okay.
situation.
Let
Let me clear that up.
I was like, remember that comment you just made about your dad being a civil engineer and going scuba diving? I just
Let me tell you, he, laundered money and well, it wasn't the same. We used to go on vacations. Just kidding.
But yeah, and then do we get Logan's mom's funeral?
Mm-hmm. And I do think it's very funny. Like, I wish I had his energy of just like, oh, hey, hello, hangers on, but like going up to every single one of them, looking in the eye and being like, thank you for coming. It means so much. And all these people like, I have no idea who you are, kid. Like, sure. Like, making everybody feel very uncomfortable.
Well, I
Like,
mean, they all
this is awesome.
know who he is.
Yeah, sorry. I meant they don't know him.
Yeah, so he's like, it means so much to me, my mother, the
Mhm.
family.
Very good.
And then he walks outside playing with his Zippo, and
Mhm.
his dad is
His grandfather's Zippo.
and his dad is talking to Harvey, who is his dad's rep.
Mm-hmm.
Who's like, I'm just gonna make this deal while we're
Right.
doing this thing.
I know this is a bad time, but we don't want them to move on with someone else.
But also, like, do you not think if Logan had walked out, Aaron Eccles wouldn't have quit? Like, he wouldn't
Yeah,
have been all dramatic. It was like, I
100%.
got caught.
So then he's like, you know what?
I retire.
I'm
I don't know why.
going to be a father.
And then we see Logan in his room, and Donkey comes to the services,
Yeah,
and
he's playing Fable.
and he's like, "Hey man, what you doing?"
Yeah, I'm worried about you, bro.
Which I'm like, "Yeah, but remember how you have like days that you don't remember, Duncan? Like maybe you should worry about your own self."
Physician, heal thyself.
Yeah, like, got a lot of questions here. What I wrote down for this was Logan has a very small room for a rich kid. I mean, yeah, it's got an
Mhm.
ensuite bathroom, but that's not a very big bedroom.
No, but he does also have the pool house.
And a large living room, kitchen,
Yes.
open floor space.
But yeah, it's not the. It's Well, forgot what I was gonna say. Not big.
Not big.
Yeah, not big.
And then Logan's like, nah, man. Like, also, like, my mom definitely is still alive because, like, she left this Zippo that she always carried in her purse because it was my grandfather's when he escaped being a POW in Korea, right?
Yes. And it said "free at last."
He's like, it's a sign, and Duncan's
Why
like,
is it
oh
in
shit,
English?
because his dad isn't Korean.
But he bought it in Korea.
Yeah, he had someone else engrave it.
Oh, I see.
They had them engraved.
I see. I was thinking he just bought it out of the shop and it said "free at last" in Korea.
Oh, no. They had them engraved. It was they bought them there and then they.
That's what that's the war my papa was in. He was first one in, last one out at a sub.
My grandfather sold all his stuff to join the military multiple times, and then what is it called? F whatever, where they send you back.
Right.
He got booted back both times because he had one small eye, and supposedly when he was born they used forceps to pull him out, and so it crushed part of his skull. Welcome to 1919.
Oh boy. Tough times for everybody.
In a rural area.
Rawr.
Yeah, it's quite a journey.
But he's like, yeah, my mom's not alive. She's free. She hated him. She hated this.
My mom is alive.
Yeah.
She's free.
Did I say she's not alive? She's free at last.
And so then we finally wrap up this whole what happened to Yolanda thing.
Yes. We get a group. He's like, I don't need the law. Group of scary hitmen.
Who says that?
Oh, Bones.
There you go. I was like, this is a very obscure sentence.
Mr. Hamilton, Your Honor.
I was just like,
Keith.
not true.
Keith tries to talk him down. He's like, you don't need to do this. You don't need to kill him. Whoever they are. And they have to go bring a case of money to this drop off point, and he's like, this doesn't line up. Usually after you you only get it like a few hours before the drop, so you can't like trace it, kind of thing. It was very smart on Bryce's end. And he's like, get there, and Keith gets fired off the case. It's like, I don't need you, man. You're done. You cut. And then
he'll put his check in the mail.
Uh-huh.
What he said.
Yeah, there you go. But Keith, being the good guy,
it's like, well, we have to make sure she doesn't get murdered, or you know.
And Veronica's invited this time.
Well, someone has to hold the umbrella.
Oh, right, that's true. Bad back.
It's raining.
And they're supposed to drop off a case of money, but they get a call, and it's like, put it in this Chargers football.
No, it was put the $25 or the $250,000 ring you wear in this football instead of the money. And so then
San Diego sports. Thank you.
They put it in the football, and Veronica buys a bunch of rubber duckies because she's like, I know how this is getting out of here.
We follow the duckies down the drain.
And so she puts trackers on the duckies, and they follow the duckies to the beach where they find Bryce.
Yep.
And she's like, I either knew this was someone really stupid or really smart, and you're really smart.
He is really smart, and he's like, thank you. All right, let's go talk to my dad. I think I stole some of Yolanda's thunder when she ran away because she's like doing her own thing, but I just had to get back at my dad.
Yeah, Yolanda's Romeo and Julieting minus all the death, which is like ideal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you're going to run away with someone, don't pretend to be dead.
My favorite part of they get back to the house, and then Bryce does his thing. He's like, I'm not soft, Dad. And he's like, guess you're not. But then they're like, oh, we've got her here.
We've got Yolanda on Skype, basically.
Yeah, and it's like, there's this little pin up at the top is the camera.
The pinhole at the top of the screen is a camera. I wrote that down, which is a direct quote.
It's like, oh, that's great. Just sign of the times.
So then she's like, you guys need to make nice because Ben and I aren't coming home until you do.
And he can't say that he's going to. Then it's like, fine then, we ain't coming home.
Yep.
Also, real quick on the video thing, when I was younger, out of everything that I saw in like say sci-fi movies and things, I'm like, we're gonna be in the future when we have video calling. Like, that is the sign of the future. That was the sign of the future to me.
Hoverboards. Why me of all people too with hoverboards? Like flying cars. Like, that was for sure my shit. I was like,
I don't know why video calling was like, maybe because I thought everything else wasn't possible, but I'm like, video calling. Like,
you are very grounded in reality.
I thought about this a lot.
You are not.
I'm like, how cool is that going to be? We're going to be able to video call people. Who am I going to call? I don't like calling people.
And now you have to look at them.
I know. Oh, God, they can see my body language.
They can see my body.
They can only hear my voice.
And then Veronica talks to Yolanda and is like, hey, I'm sorry I was a bad friend. And Yolanda's like, no, it's cool, man. I would have done the same thing.
Water under the bridge. Water down the drain.
And Veronica has a webcam like I had where you attach it to the monitor. Like, it's not part of the computer. But hers is huge and a really high quality.
Right.
I was like, my screen would have fallen over with that thing on it.
Also, with the way they describe the video conferencing, do you think they went to Yolanda, dropped off a video call thing, and then got there? Or do you think Yolanda and Ben have the video calling? Because how did they set that up?
I think they probably had a computer with a camera.
Okay.
Because remember the MacBook or the laptop, it was like, oh, the pinhole at the top is the camera. Like, he was just explaining it to him.
Right. But do you think...
So I think Yolanda probably had a computer that was nice.
Because she's more
kids.
Right. More technologically savvy than Bones,
Ben.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Benjamin probably did. BB.
What?
Mr. Bloom. And then at the end, a knock knock. Oh, who's there? What? Logan, what are you doing here? I need you to find my mom. Cut the black. You like my play-by-play?
Next time I'm just going to print the script from the episode and I want you to read the whole thing.
I wrote down, who's that knocking at my chamber door? But yeah.
I wrote, I love Logan and I'm in love with Logan because the patriarchy made us this way. Like, he's so problematic and so lovable.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to, it's another, like, I just want to mother him.
Yeah, exactly. Especially since his is gone.
But
Somewhere.
he doesn't believe it.
Because they didn't find the body because she's still alive. Don't you see, Duncan? You see your dead sister.
Yeah, remember, you saw her body.
Mm-hmm.
You found it. Oh, you don't remember?
Right.
Huh, weird.
Do you think Duncan's like Medium from the classic show Medium? Patricia Arquette is Medium.
Donkey Kane is Medium.
God, oh yeah, this and I forgot in that entire conversation, Duncan looks like, oh, cool, man, of just like weirded the fuck out.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, you have blackouts.
Yeah, I know.
You jumped off a building, remember?
You saw your dead sister. I think you should be more understanding
but like
to your friend.
when your friend was like hanging out with Veronica, you jumped off the fucking bleachers.
Yeah. Oh God.
How soon we forget?
Mm-hmm. Well, right, he can't remember anything. Dude's hopped up on speedballs. He's hopped up on Penny's Pop. Just kidding. He's not hopped up on anything, and that's why he's having blackouts.
No, and he's not hopped up at all. He's slowed the fuck down.
I'll say.
All right, well.
Yeah, so next episode is Mars versus Mars. This is the litigation versus Veronica Mars and the Mars Bars Corporation.
Oh, I
Classic
thought it
episode.
was, like the girls go to Mars to get more candy bars kind of thing.
Right. It's the same company.
Oh.
It's Mars Bars. Oh. Uh-huh. Where do you think they come from? On this conspiracy, I will. Different podcast.
Which brings us to plugs. We have a conspiracy theory podcast. It's called But Really Though spelled THO. And we present opinion as fact, such as Mars bars being from Mars.
They come from Mars.
We have not done that one yet, but it's only a matter of time before Brenton.
I just need to seed it on Reddit. And then once it gains some traction, then I'll bring it back in.
Mm-hmm, exactly. This theory started by a boy and...
Do you see these craters? This is from a Mars Bars factory that used to be here.
Oh my God. You can find me at butreallythough.com, spelled THO, or butreallythoughblog.com. It should all feed to the same thing, where I write about self-development and I provide some life or career coaching services. I mean, I guess in theory we could life coach if you need help with your career, because that's part of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do a little wellness. I'll dabble in it all, but
Say the V.
Yeah, you want a better job? Let me help you find it. And then you can also find me on TikTok at Emily Brusky, EmilYBrucesky, or YouTube, where I post videos similar to my blog content.
And you can find this podcast on Twitter at Mars Rewatch, Facebook at Mars Rewatch, and you can send us in questions, comments, concerns to marsrewatch@gmail.com. Find us on all podcast platforms, which you found us on one. I don't know why I'm talking down to you. Good job finding us. Thank you for listening.
I was like, be nice.
And then I am at Pyle Brenton on Twitter. And I will have a YouTube channel as soon as I figure out what happened to my project in Adobe Premiere Rush.
So if Adobe could reach out, that would be really great. We'd also accept like a sponsorship from you. Like, we're okay.
Yeah, sure. We don't have Patreon, but, sponsors.
No, I meant for Adobe.
Oh, Adobe. Yeah. Oh, Adobe Creative Solutions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll use Sally, or my grandmother's dog that my parents have. We call her Dobie. So we'll use Adobe. We'll include a picture of Dobie on the Instagram post I post about this.
That's
Remind
perfect.
me to do that.
Yep. Adobe. Okay.
All right. Well,
I think that's it.
Stay toasted, marshmallows.
What do I know?
Will you push me forward?
Yep. I like how most of these test recordings usually start with, "Can you push me forward?"
Do they really?
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Half the time when I'm listening back, it usually starts with, "Hey, can you push me forward?"
Because I can't do it when I sit in this position.
Uh-huh.
And I can't reach the microphone if I sit any lower.
Right. I understand. It's just funny.
Oh.
Hello.
Harmony, you want to be on the podcast?
Oh boy. All right, that's probably good enough.